Hey, welcome back. Beautiful day out. Uh, it's kind of a little bit of a tease because we got a storm coming in New England, so it's going to be a crappy day later. But it's beautiful out. It's like 60 degrees out today, short sleeve weather. And I just tossed one of my bands and my sharpener upstairs, and I ran it through in a different way this time. And I want to see how it cuts. For most of you who follow me, you've seen my grinder setup. I ran this through without clamping it down. So basically just pulling it, pushing it against the stop, bam, pull it, push against the stop, bam, pull it, push against the stop, bam, and went all the way around the band without ever clamping the band in. And it went really fast. And it looks like it did a decent job. I think, if anything, it ground off a little more than it was a pretty big grind. I want to see how it runs in this white oak. I did just adjust my guides again. I adjusted them yesterday. One of my guides, my ceramic guides, was way out when I just put the band on. And I adjusted my drive belt tension significantly tighter. And let's just hope that that's not going to take its toll on the idler pulley or the clutch. But there was a lot of playing it. And I did stall the band in the white oak yesterday for some weird reason. I had cleaned out the clutch, and I was wondering if that was the cause, because it really never did it again. But we're going to try out this band. We're going to see how it runs in the white oak. I'm going to try to push it a little bit and see how fast I can go through. Give you some feedback. Another thing that I wanted to talk about was I don't want you guys to when you guys watch me, I want you to learn. I got to give you a little bit of a heads up here on one thing not to do. And just for full disclosure, I'm breaking that right now just because of the metal in the slog. But when you are milling white oak, especially high value white oak, it's probably not the best idea in the world to be running resharps unless you completely deburr them. Because if you don't deburr them, you're going to get a lot of metal staining on white oak. So you probably should run a new band. We had no idea when we opened up this log that this log was going to look like it did. If you didn't watch the videos yesterday to see what this looked like, although it's dry right now, I'm not going to dump any water on it right now, but these slabs are unbelievable. We had no idea we were getting into this type of quality wood, but you can see staining all over it from the band. Not just, it hit metal, understandable, but also I think because of the burrs on it from being a regrind and not ever taking the burrs off. So when you're milling white oak, that's got to be a consideration. I've done enough trailer decks to know better than that. What happens if on a trailer deck, is that a, no, leave. What happens on a trailer deck is if you got to drill your fasteners out, you need to blow that stuff off right away, or all those little metal bits when you drill out for your fasteners will stain your oak if you use an oak. And I've had it happen overnight to where I, didn't finish up, did an entire trailer deck, and then came back the next day to finish up. And because of the dew at night and stuff like that, there were just black dots all over it. Now, it doesn't matter all that much if it's for you, but if you're going to do it for customers like I do, you got to be careful with that. So I learned a little bit of a lesson here. This particular log, I'm going to go ahead and mill it out just because of the metal. But in the future, when I'm milling oak, I am always going to put on a brand new band, always. Unless it's littered with black staining. And I did just get a log delivery in. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. Maybe we'll walk up there later. But it's got a log delivery in up top of a bunch of scarlet oak and locust and some big, huge spruce. And some of those do have some black staining in them. So it's the age-old question. If you're going to put a new band through those. Now, I will be wanding them. from now on, just in the hopes that I could find them. But in the case of this log here, there's nothing you could do. All the metal's in the middle of the log. So you were never going to find it. The only thing that you could have done with this log would have been to turn it into firewood. And in this case, I needed this log for this customer. What's basically going to happen is the customer needs a 24-inch wide piece with one straight edge and one natural edge. So it's going to be the natural edge on the front, and I will cut a straight edge on the back, but I'm going to let her come and pick out the slab she wants before I do that. So we're going to finish this up. I'm going to see what speed of cut looks like. Hopefully everybody didn't just dive off and say, oh, I'm not listening to them talk. The ones that did dive off don't want to learn anything, and you know, so be it. But we're going to take a pass through this. We're going to see how the way that I just sharpened it, if it works, and how it works, how it cuts. I'll give you my feedback. And if it cuts good, I think I have a new way of sharpening, because I could rip through 10 bands in a quarter of the time it takes me to clamp them every time. So let's see how. Now this particular cut, I did start it and I hit metal. So I'm going to try to push into the log. I got to try to get the height just right, get the band to match up. I'm going to try to push into the log to the end of the cut to where it hits the wood, and then back off just a little bit before I hit the throttle, so I don't throttle in and nick that nail again like I did yesterday. So we'll do that, and then I'm going to really try to give this pass some force, and we'll see what happens, and we'll see how it pulls through with this different sharpening method. So let's give her a crack, see how it goes. I don't remember what the height was on this, but oh, and another thing, I got a comment about on one of my videos yesterday. Get out from behind the mill here. I got a comment on one of my videos yesterday about the mill sounding weird. Well, it's the noise canceling in the microphone. You can't hear the mill the way it's running right now. And I'm going to do a video pretty soon on the effects of speed of cut on your surface finish. And when I do that, I'm not going to be able to use the microphone, because you're going to need to hear the mill run. I'll give you my honest feedback on what this goes through this wood like. This is a pretty full width cut for this mill. It's over 26 at its widest point, say 24 average white oak. So just to let you know, it sounds a little weird. It's just the story of my friggin' life. So I hit that nail immediately. I'm going to finish the cut. Did everything I could do to avoid that freaking nail, and I hit it anyway. Unbelievable. So what I can tell you about that cut, what was left of the band was spitting out some really big chips. Maybe I'll show you afterwards. It spit out some huge chips when it was cutting. So it seemed to cut pretty good, other than it's just so frustrating. This is what you get though, guys. If you're going to want to mill yard trees, this is what you're going to get. Flip the slab over when I get it over here. Give you a good look at the slab when I pick it up here. Let me grab my scraper. I don't even know if this video will end up making the queue. I'm tempted right now just to pull this log off and cut it up for firewood. I'll tell you that right now. I'm freaking fit to be tied right now. I can't scrape this onto that other log, or I'm going to get metal all over it. Son of a bitch. Yeah. If you look at that slab, it's not the greatest slab anyway, because you see the metal staining. Here's the nail right here. Jesus. There's the nail right there. I had already cut past it. I tried to push the band in, so I was starting in here, but apparently I didn't get it all the way in, so I nicked it again. The cut is wavy. Which is to be expected when you waste a band like that. So a little bit of a wave right there. Pretty good dip right there. Beautiful slabs, and this one's pretty much junk. Let's take a look at the log. See if we can. We're gonna have to get that metal out of the log. What a waste of a video, and what a waste of coming out here. This is the last piece of metal, I think, in this log, too. There's no more staining below it. Oh, I can't believe I did that. So freaking frustrating. All right, I'm going to